Welcome to AI Dispatch, your channel for the latest AI videos on YouTube. If you don't want to miss these updates, please like, subscribe, and share. This video features Eoghan McCabe, founder and CEO of Intercom, speaking on the EO channel. His central thesis holds that rescuing a stagnant company demands deliberate destruction of stable revenue, rejection of consensus-driven leadership, and active dismantling of legacy systems. The framework inverts conventional wisdom. What appears as reckless self-sabotage functions as a survival mechanism when mediocrity becomes the primary threat. Picture a scenario where someone proposes that rescuing a plateaued tech company requires deliberately incinerating $60 million in reliable revenue while abandoning collaborative management practices. Most would dismiss this as financial suicide. Eoghan McCabe, founder and CEO of Intercom, maintains that this form of controlled destruction distinguishes authentic founders from hired executives. His framework positions survival as dependent not on expansion or equilibrium, but on executing moves that resemble corporate self-destruction. Begin with his most jarring economic proposition, treating revenue destruction as strategic action. In business operations, annual recurring revenue ARR functions as the primary valuation metric, determining market position and organizational stability. McCabe discloses that upon returning to Intercom's leadership, he made the decision to terminate revenue streams generating tens of millions annually, approximately 60 million in total. The rationale behind this financial maneuver targets the trap of sustained mediocrity. McCabe contends that the most hazardous position for an organization is not outright failure, but rather performing adequately. When performance sits at an acceptable level, stakeholders resist any action that might destabilize existing revenue. This protective instinct locks the organization into a flat growth trajectory. By choosing to eliminate a substantial portion of revenue, he manufactured an organizational crisis state. His position is clear. Reinventing a company while preserving its legacy infrastructure is impossible. The old must be dismantled. He notes that professional CEOs receive their mandates specifically to maintain stability, which ultimately prevents breakthrough innovation. Only a founder, operating with complete disregard for immediate financial consequences, possesses the institutional authority to implement these violent organizational changes. This economic philosophy connects directly to an uncomfortable reality about product strategy in the current AI landscape. Traditional software development operates on the premise that technology should enhance human job performance. McCabe flips this entirely, proposing that next-generation software aims to eliminate the human user and consequently the traditional software interface altogether. He discusses their AI agent, Finn, with unusual candor. He recognized that if the AI agent successfully handles the work, human customer support staff no longer require the software interface. Intercom spent 10 years developing. This creates a fundamental business paradox. Their new product actively destroys demand for their existing product. Most executives would attempt to mitigate this risk or delay deployment to protect core business operations. McCabe's perspective inverts this entirely, precisely because the AI agent eliminates the need for human-operated tools. If they failed to build it, a competitor and Intercom would face extinction regardless. He treats this self-cannibalization not as a threat to be managed, but as an unavoidable reality. The paradigm shift centers on recognizing that in the AI era, your product no longer serves as a tool for a user, it becomes the user. Transition now to the social and cultural inversions, which may prove most controversial. Contemporary management theory emphasizes psychological safety, collaborative decision-making, and empathetic leadership practices. McCabe contends that nice founder behavior actively destroys startups. He characterizes the reinvention process as highly destructive as well as constructive. His stance is that navigating a major pivot through consensus or diplomatic communication is impossible. He acknowledges acting unilaterally, disregarding advice, and making decisions that alarm the board. He states explicitly, if you find yourself entirely unable to make decisions on your own, you're not a founder. This redefines the founder role from visionary leader who builds consensus to dictator willing to stake the entire organization on personal instinct, even when facing universal opposition. This philosophy manifested through a severe cultural overhaul. Rather than attempting to retrain or gradually guide employees who didn't align with the new high-intensity direction, he implemented a system designed to aggressively identify and remove them. He describes a performance management framework that evaluated employees not solely on work output, but on behavioral alignment and values adherence. Those who didn't fit received financial packages to leave. The outcome of this aggressive approach contradicts standard human resources expectations. One would anticipate a culture characterized by fear, silence, and resentment. McCabe reports that 18 months following this violent purge, an anonymous survey of their 1,200 employees revealed only 1 to 2% disagreement regarding company direction and values. His interpretation is that truth, honesty, and authenticity, even when delivered brutally, generates alignment. By eliminating the performance of niceness, he created an environment where only committed believers remained. He disputes the notion that positive culture emerges from inclusivity. Instead, he proposes it results from exclusivity and rigorous filtering. Finally, examine a profound psychological inversion regarding leadership strength sources. We typically seek leaders who project confidence, stability, and clear vision. McCabe, however, attributes his leadership capacity not to competence but to personal breakdown. He recounts a period where he suffered from a mysterious illness causing vision loss and fears of mortality, coinciding with the company's revenue stagnation. He maintains that this darkness catalyzed his success. Only after his ego collapsed and he accepted potential failure as reality did, he gained the freedom to take necessary risks. This inverts the great man theory of leadership. He proposes that as long as a leader protects their identity as a perfect entrepreneur, they remain paralyzed. Only when they have nothing to lose, either physically or reputationally, can they act with the recklessness required to rescue a failing organization. Examining these viewpoints reveals a consistent pattern in McCabe's framework. He identifies stability as the primary enemy. Whether stable revenue, stable culture, or stable ego, he maintains that comfort precedes organizational death. He advocates for a mode of corporate existence in perpetual conflict with its own legacy, willing to destroy past success to secure future survival. The question is, are we brave enough to strike the match? If you're interested in the video featured in this episode, click the link below to watch the original.